Today we're doing a step-by-step tutorial on how to publish your book on Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. This is the second video in my Beginner's Guide to Self-Publishing video series here on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't watched the first video yet, it will be linked down below. What I talk about today will apply to ebooks, so if you want to publish on Kindle, it will apply to paperbacks, and it will also apply to hardcovers. However, if you want to know more about publishing hardcovers, I do have a separate video entirely just on that, so that will be linked down below because hardcovers are new to Kindle Direct Publishing, and I'm very excited about it. In this video, we're going to be going over all the information that you need to have before you start the uploading process, and then I'll be walking you through exactly what you're going to see as you upload your book yourself. Hello everyone, my name is Mandi Lynn. I'm an author, book cover designer, and the creator of the Book Launch Planner. I post weekly videos on the business of being an author, so if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. Before we jump into the tutorial, do know that you should have a document already pre-prepared of everything that you're going to need. That way when you're uploading everything, you're not trying to figure out your book description, your keywords, your categories, right then and there. Do the research beforehand so the uploading process is simpler. So what do you need to know before you start uploading your book? You need to know the book title, the book subtitle, the book's release date, if you want to do a paid ISBN or a free ISBN. You also want to know what the price of your book is going to be. And then finally, you're going to want to know what categories your books will be in, the keywords your book will have, and lastly, the age range your book will be. So once you know all of that, you can jump into the uploading process, which I'll show you how to do right now. So here we are in Kindle Direct Publishing. This isn't my actual account. This is the account I use to test things out. As you can see, my children's book I was testing out over here before it even had its official cover. So this is what it's going to look like. Hopefully you won't have this little message. I didn't complete my account information because I don't plan on publishing anything through here. But basically, to start, all you do is hit the plus sign for ebook, the plus sign for paperback, or the plus sign for hardcover. They're all more or less the same. The only thing that's different is the file requirements, but I'll talk about that when we get there. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you guys through the ebook process because I feel like everyone publishes an ebook, not always paperback or hardcover. So just know it all should be more or less the same. So let's click that little plus sign for ebook, and then it will load a new page. So first thing, language. What language is the book in? That's easy, English. Next thing is book title. So I'm going to just pretend like I'm uploading the files for my newest book, Meet Me at the Summit. So that's what I'm going to do. Then we have subtitle, which is optional. Now, subtitles are a little finicky. So I always do subtitles on my nonfiction books because you have the opportunity to put more keywords into your description of your book. I don't always do it for my fiction books, and the reason is because Kindle has some pretty specific rules on subtitles. So let me show you an example. So here we have my book Essence on Amazon. As you can see, the Kindle version, it has a subtitle, Young Adult Fantasy, because we're going to throw in some of those keywords that we like. However, the paperback edition does not have a subtitle, it's just Essence. And the reason for this is that you are required to have your subtitle on the cover of your book for the paperback edition. So for the paperback edition, my fiction books don't have a subtitle, but for my Kindle editions, they do have a subtitle. So right now we are in the Kindle version, so even though the subtitle isn't on the cover of Meet Me at the Summit, I am going to go ahead and add this in here. So I'm actually going to put Young Adult Contemporary since we are in the ebook version, since we can get away with that. And then next we have series details. So if you're publishing a book in the series, Meet Me at the Summit is actually book 1 of 2 in a series, but book 2 isn't out yet, so I haven't added any of the series information yet. But if you do have a series, you just hit this add series details, and then it looks at the other books that you've published in your account, and you can look them up. So you can either start a new series or choose from an existing series. Then we have edition number. 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to touch this unless you're like republishing a book. We have the author, so just put in your name. And then we have contributors, so if this is a co-written work or if you want to add in all this other detail and information. I personally would only do it if you want to give credit to a forward or someone who illustrated the book, if it's like a children's book, something like that. And then this here is the descriptions. So you know how I was mentioning all the information you needed earlier? I want you to have it in a separate account. I personally always keep it in a Google Docs account. I actually have an entire Google Docs folder, and I use all of this when I'm publishing my books. So this is just one of many documents. So we've gotten to the point where we need to put in our description. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this description, because you don't want to figure out your book description while you're uploading everything. You want to know that ahead of time, and you can mess with the formatting if you want. It's totally up to you. Then we get down to the publishing rights. So you just need to state whether you own the copyright or if it's public domain. Odds are it's your own copyright. And then we have your keywords. So this is just all search engine optimization right here, the keywords and the categories. Now I'm going to suggest a tool to you guys because I personally love it, and that is Publisher Rocket. I'm a huge advocate for Publisher Rocket. If you guys want me to do a full tutorial on it one day on how you can really make the most out of it, let me know in the comments down below and I will do that. But you can do a lot of things in here. You can use it to come up with ideas for keywords, but my favorite is the category search. So you kind of just look at the big categories. So we have teens and young adults, so I'm going to hit check it out. And then we have all of these, and you can scroll through, you can search. So if I know my book is a romance, we have the under teens and young adult, all these different subgenres for romance, and this is set right now for ebook, but if I wanted to go back, you can also set it for like a regular print book or an Audible book, because categories do vary depending on what format the book is. And then you can also go here to do some keyword research. Like again, if I just typed in romance, we can come up with a bunch of keywords. So there's a ton of them. However, you don't have to use Publisher Rocket to come up with keyword ideas and for category ideas. I think of a comp title, and a comp title is just a book that's similar to yours. So one comp title for Meet Me at the Summit is this book called Mosquito Land by David Arnold. And what I do is I scroll all the way down, I'll pass this, and I go down here to the categories. And these are the categories here that this book is ranking in right now. But I actually don't just do this for categories, which I do. I will see these categories and write them down in this document. But I also look to this for ideas for keywords. So a lot of the time you may see your book rank in a category that you didn't even assign it to. And that just happens based off of the keywords that you use. I learned this the hard way with one of my books, She's Not Here. It's a book about a woman who's so paranoid about getting Alzheimer's that she begins experimenting on someone to find a cure, no matter what the cost. So one of my keywords that I put in on Amazon was Alzheimer's, but that meant that it was ranking for like nonfiction books on Alzheimer's, which obviously this is not a nonfiction book on Alzheimer's. This is a fictional story. But because of that, I ended up removing the keyword Alzheimer's because it was affecting my category ranking in a bad way. So that's what I do. I look to other people's book categories for inspiration on what my keywords should be. And then I also do research through Kindle Publisher Rocket. So basically, once you come up with that, you want to paste all these in. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste a few of these so you guys get the idea. Ideally, you want to fill out all 7. I'm not going to do that today because this is just an example. Next is categories. So like I said, I already told you guys how you can look up categories. You can look it up here through Publisher Rocket, or you can go ahead and look it up through Amazon by just looking at comp titles and seeing what categories they are in. But once you know what categories you want, you have to go ahead and click around and find it. So you're allowed up to 2 categories, so choose wisely. You can get added to more categories if you email KDP directly. It just does take some time, and basically what you do is you contact them and you copy and paste the exact categories that you want your book added to. So then from there, you're just gonna choose the age range. So first we have the actual age. For teen books, I like to select 12 or 13, and then maximum would be 18 plus, and then age range, I think I normally select like 6th grade and then through 12th grade. It's really, you got to figure out what your demographic of your book is, and then you decide whether you are ready to release your book now, aka as soon as you hit the publish button, or if you want to make it available for pre-order. I recommend if you're doing a Kindle book to go ahead and do that pre-order. This is actually the only pre-order option you have. If you publish a paperback or hardcover through KDP, they actually don't let you do a pre-order. Maybe someday they will, and if they do, I'll be very happy about it. But at this time, the only pre-orders that you are allowed to have are for ebooks. So go ahead and select whenever you want to publish that. And it tells you must submit the final version of your pre-order title before March 21st, blah, 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 because I selected March 25th as my publication day. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm actually going to go ahead and say that I'm ready to release my book now because I wanted to show you guys that you can actually upload all your files. Okay, so now we're on the next page and the next step in the uploading process. This is the thing that people get really confused about. So we have this little thing about digital rights management. I personally don't have a huge opinion on this, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But basically, if you click yes, it limits a buyer's ability to share the book, if that makes any sense. So you as an author, I'm sure your first instinct is to be like, yes, I want that enabled. I don't want people to be able to share my manuscripts. Us authors, we're very protective of our work. So basically, as it says here, digital rights management is intended to inhibit unauthorized distribution of Kindle files of your book. Some authors want to encourage readers to share their work and choose not to have DRM applied to their book. If you choose DRM, customers will still be able to lend the book to one another for a short period and can also purchase the book as a gift for one another from the Kindle store. Important, once you publish your book, you cannot change these settings. I personally recommend that you do your own research. I don't have a huge opinion on this. As far as I'm aware, all my books don't have digital rights management enabled, just because when I looked it up online, people had some pretty strong opinions about how bad it was, and I don't really understand why. So take my opinion with a grain of salt, do your own research. But basically, after you figure that out, you then select upload your ebook manuscript. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to do that. So I just went ahead and I uploaded my EPUB file. If you want to know how to format an EPUB file, I will have a tutorial linked down below. I have 2 different tutorials. One's through a program called KDP Author. The other is just through Microsoft Word, which works but is much more annoying. Then we're going to go ahead and upload your book cover. You can either use the Launch Cover Creator, which I don't recommend. I think the result is always ugly. I definitely have a biased opinion because I'm a book cover designer myself, but I will just say people do judge a book by its cover. So I uploaded the cover that I designed for Meet Me at the Summit. If you want to see how I designed it, that video will be linked down below. I show the entire illustration process. It was very fun. All right, so that's that. Now, before we can proceed, we have to go ahead and hit Launch Previewer. And it makes sure that everything looks correct. It takes a long time sometimes to preview an ebook. It's usually a little bit faster, but you'll notice for paperbacks or especially for hardcovers during this stage, it takes forever for these files to upload. And then I will note at this time that when you're doing these steps for hardcovers and paperbacks, the interior files have to be formatted for print. So if you don't know how to format your book for print for Kindle Direct Publishing, again, links to those tutorial videos will be down below. Then for the cover, instead of just uploading the cover itself, you need to upload the entire cover wrap, and that needs to be a PDF file. All right, so here we are in the Kindle Previewer. So we've got a little Kindle reader to help us visualize. We have the cover, which is awesome. Then we turn the page. We have the copyright page, and then we turn the page. We have my also buy page. I highly recommend this. So if people read your one book and they like it, they might want to read the rest of your books. Then we have the table of contents. And then we have this little graphic, which is a map of the road trip that Marley, the main character, goes on. And then the book itself. And basically, you just want to click through and make sure that everything looks okay. Then once you do that, I click back to book details in this upper corner, and then I scroll down, and then we're left with the next step, which is the ISBN. So ISBNs are actually optional for ebooks, so I recommend that you actually don't get an ISBN for your ebooks because why waste one? But for paperback and hardcovers, ISBNs are required, and you can either choose to do a free ISBN that KDP supplies to you, or you can do a paid ISBN. Because I am established as an LLC, Stone Ridge Books LLC, I personally use my own ISBNs, and when you use your own ISBNs, you can fill this little form out and just put in your publishing house. But because I'm not putting one in, I'm going to leave that blank. So then I'm just going to hit save and continue, and we're going to move on to the final stage before publishing, which is pricing. So we have, first up is KDP Select. I'm going to do a video in the future on KDP Select and why I'm actually moving my book back onto KDP Select because I didn't enjoy my wide distribution. So basically, when it comes to your ebook distribution, you need to decide one of two things. Do you want it to be available just on Kindle and take advantage of the KDP Select program, or do you want to have your ebook available everywhere? I personally, for myself, think that my books will do better just on Kindle, where I can take advantage of KDP Select, but you have to do that research and kind of figuring out on your own. But for now, I'm going to hit enroll because I like the KDP Select program, which is known as Kindle Unlimited to customers. Then we have territories. Do you want it available everywhere or just specific places? I do my books everywhere. Where is your primary marketplace? For me, I'm in the United States, so it's Amazon.com. And then we have royalties. So I like to price my ebooks at $3.99. And because I price it at $3.99, I can select 70%. So then you can see here what the royalty rates are. So if I selected 35%, then I would only make $1.40. But because I selected 70%, I actually make $2.74. And then we have all the other Amazon territories and breakdowns of all of that, which, you know, I just go by the default prices, but I have heard recommendations that you should go ahead and price each of these individually to make sure that they fit with other books in their market price-wise. Now, the only time I would say select 35% is when you price your book super low, like at 99 cents. Because if your book is 99 cents, you actually can't select 70% as your royalty rate, which you see right here. But if we scroll down, there's a quick note that you should know is book lending. So when you select your book to be 70% royalties, and we're going to go back to the $3.99 price, book lending is required. Like, you don't have the option to click or unclick it. You only have this option if you have a 35% royalty rate. So that might be your only deciding factor when it comes to these two royalty rates. I obviously recommend 70% because you make more per book sale. And then that is basically that. You can see this little message here saying that it takes 72 hours for your title to be available on Amazon. I personally find it takes less than 24 hours. So they tell you it takes 72 hours to kind of like cover their butts, but it really takes way less than that. I, again, have this annoying information saying that my account is incomplete because I do not want to publish any books here. But that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe because in future videos I will be reviewing other print-on-demand companies like Ingram Spark, Draft to Digital, Barnes & Noble Press, and any other ones that you guys may be curious about. If you want more exclusive content, be sure to join as a YouTube member where you get access to exclusive emojis, posts, and monthly videos where I do goal setting and income reports. Otherwise, that is it for today, and I will see you guys all next week.